So about a month ago, before the Switch Lite release, I made a video regarding the Joy-Con drift issue that several people have been having nowadays, and I did get some people telling me that it's always been an issue, which is indeed true. The reason I made the video though is because it started happening for so many people to where it was becoming a real issue, I believe, and it was already a real issue, but it became even bigger. So I decided to make a video on it, addressing it. But now, that video was before the Switch Lite released. This is a video after the Switch Lite release, and I'm speaking as a viewer of the Nintendo Switch Lite, if you want to call it that. I do not own a Nintendo Switch Lite, unfortunately. I just do not really have the money to, spend on something that is essentially a lesser thing of what I already own, being a Nintendo Switch. And I've also been a Nintendo Switch owner since day one, March the 3rd, 2017. So yes, as you already know, I've had Joy-Con drift issues several times. I had to buy new pairs of Joy-Cons, all that jazz. Like I said in the previous video, I think I go into detail explaining my entire story around Joy-Con drift, so I won't bore you all with all the details, but recently, now the Nintendo Switch Lite has been released, the biggest question I think all of us have on our hands is, does the Joy-Con drift apply to the Nintendo Switch Lite? And we're only about 10 days in the Switch Lite's lifespan, and it seems like that's unfortunately the case. Now, granted, it hasn't happened for as many people, as recently with the normal Nintendo Switch. It's not like over half of the entire stock of Nintendo Switch have these issues after a while. No. This is happening for a few people, but this could be the beginning of a huge problem, because the Nintendo Switch Lite, as you guys probably already know, is a dedicated handheld. It will not dock, it does not play in tabletop mode, it can connect controllers to it, but it is a handheld first and foremost, and cannot connect to the TV until people somehow find a way to hack it, and somehow that works. But people like SpawnWave have made teardown videos of the Switch Lite, and basically what they discovered is that they have pretty much the exact same technology in them as every other Joy-Con, which left me and probably many others raising an eyebrow, because really they didn't seem to change anything besides the model number on the analog sticks for the Switch Lite, which is pretty weird. It's bad enough that you'll be having issues on a singular controller. You'll probably have to renew the controller or fix it yourself. But this is a $200 handheld. So having that on a $200 system that you can't take the controllers off of, that's a big problem. And obviously I'm not just gonna start saying this because, I don't have, it's not like I don't have any evidence. So, more commonly, a user by the name of, I believe, Alexis Javier, he posted a video showcasing his Joy-Con drift on the Nintendo Switch Lite, or not really even Joy-Con drift, Switch Lite drift. That's a bigger issue, Switch Lite drift. And he's playing Breath of the Wild, and the camera is moving automatically. So, some people began to thought, well, what if this guy's faking? What if this is a fake video? He could have connected a controller, and, he could have been using that and making the Switch Lite look bad. But there was also another user that made a similar video. Can't remember his or her name, but, people made other videos regarding the Switch Lite drift, and I do not believe in the slightest that this is fake. The reason is because I actually tested that out myself with Breath of the Wild. I hooked up a Pro controller to my Nintendo Switch, regular Nintendo Switch. This could be different on the Switch Lite, but I hooked up a Pro Remote to my Nintendo Switch, and I moved the camera, as you know, showcased with the controller. But when I tried to control the camera with the right analog stick on the Joy-Cons that are connected to my console, it made a recalibration of, hey, what controller do you want to use? So that essentially proves that it's real. I don't know what else you can do to prove that it's not fake, because maybe it's completely different on the Switch Lite, who knows, but from what I tried to do, it doesn't seem to be fake at all. So, and he also made a follow-up video too. I'll leave both videos in the description if you want to know more about it in more detail. So, I kind of want to give my whole opinions on the thing, because they actually added the Switch Lite to the whole Joy-Con Switch lawsuit thing, and I don't blame them. It's really baffling to me. Like, I think the Switch Lite could have benefited from a bit more time in production to really ensure that those analog sticks were kind of differently modeled to where they won't start drifting as easily. And who knows, maybe these guys threw their Switch Lites in the sand or something and scrubbed sand all over their Switch Lite. I don't know how it would even function at that point, but I sincerely doubt that's the case, especially when the issue was so common at the Switch Lite in the first place. And yeah, it's really frustrating. Now what you could do is tear apart your Switch Lite and repair analog stick by buying a new one, but who wants to do that? And also, the Switch Lite has only been out for 10 days. I think your warranty is pretty new by then. So if you're having drift issues, you should probably go get a new Switch Lite. You'll probably get it for free. So I don't know what kind of warranty you may have gotten on your purchase, but if you're having Joy-Con issues now, report it and go get a new Switch Lite while you still can. So that's what I would say on that. But man, it's just really disappointing, because this is probably the most issues we've ever had on a Nintendo system in a long time, really. Now, of course, there was always the NES where it would blow on the cartridge to ensure it worked, but nothing like this that would actually impact the game itself if it did work. Because analog sticks are really, really important in this day and age, because they're used for a lot of games now. And if they're not working, they're making very noticeable misinputs, that's bad. And this has happened for 4 Joy-Cons of mine. 4. So I don't know. I think Nintendo really needs to get their stuff together, and if they decide to make like a Switch Pro or something, they really need to get this Joy-Con drift issue resolved, because oh man, I am pretty tired of hearing all of these issues about the Switch Lite having these drift issues and the Joy-Cons themselves. It's been 2.5 years. Nintendo, please have your hardware manufacturers think of something and try to fix this issue. Heck, even remodel the analog stick if you have to. I don't know. Just do something different with those analog sticks. I don't think the Vita had that many issues with their analog sticks, and those analog sticks were pretty breakable. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's just pretty disappointing that we're already getting these issues with the Switch Lite. So yeah, that's all I really have to say on that.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give it a like and comment your thoughts down below. If you want to see my other content, be sure to click the annotations you see on screen. If you really want to show your support, subscribing is really appreciated. Alright, I'll catch you all later.